You will. You just bloody Parish council. That's one of the reasons it's got to be careful.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first meeting of the new council. And the first thing that we have to do is to elect the chairman to take office tonight and for the following year. Any proposals, please?
I'd like to nominate Clive.
Any seconded? I'll second that. Proposed, seconded. Any more nominations? We don't need to vote, do we?
There's only one nomination.
Yeah, there's only one nomination. Therefore, all those in favour, please show. Right, Clark. Welcome to the position of the chair. I hope you find it as miserable as I am.
Looks like it's not miserable for him.
Have some of them, Johnny. The old people. I don't like to go to win out the license out of prison.
As well. He's an independent, but
That's just a view that's different. Can I just have your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen? I've got to sign this. What's that? Thank you. I'm off now. Don't mind it. Right, you just have to excuse me because I've not worked one of these before. So, if you can't, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Okay, loud and clear, good. Right, so I'm going to rely on Michael a fair amount tonight to help me get through this. And also John, as well as ex-chair, and everybody else that wants to chip in. Your help will be invaluable as we try and move on. Can I just say, it is a new council. We've got 6 new members tonight, and if we want to go, if we can go around the table just so people can introduce themselves to the members of the public, and then they know exactly who to blame at any point in time. So, you know me, I'm Clive Jackson. I've been on the council since 2008. If we go around the table.
I'm Ivan Merchant. I've been involved with the parish over the last 25 years. I've lived in Anston, and I'm here to sort of help the parish of Anston and people in Anston.
I'm Drew Tarvey. I'm a new member of the council. I grew up in Rotherham, but I've lived in North Anston for the last 5 years, and I think it's a good opportunity for a new start.
My name's
lived in Anston for 15 years. Came to the meetings and thought I wanted to do something that would help the community more. So that's why I put it forward.
Good.
I'm Gordon Jones. I've lived in the parish on and off for 22 years. And I represent South Anston.
Christine Saddle, I've lived on the Oval for 44 years. Sorry? Can you hear? No. Would you use the microphone, please? No,
We'll get used to it. You've got to
Christine Saddle. I've lived on the Oval for 44 years, and I hope to make some valuable contributions. Thank you.
I'm Hales Manship. I live in Woodsets. I'm on a lot of parish committees in the village there. Moving into the village into Anston in about 2 weeks' time. And I thought I'd get more involved in this community now.
Hi, Philip Matthews, 30 years resident of South Anston. Having spent the last 9 months in the public gallery, I thought I might be of more use on this side of the line. So here's to it.
Stuart Thornton, I've been a councillor since 2009. Looking around the room, I think almost everybody knows me, and I represent the North Ward of Anston.
Okay, my name's John Ireland. I'm past chair for about 7 years or so. I lived in the village for 52 years. The kids were born here, the kids still live here. It's nice to see a lot of new young councillors for a change. I'm going to put a British, an old phrase in front of that, but an old chap like me on this.
No.
Everybody knows Michael Reserve, clerk to the council and responsible financial officer. Right, thank you very much indeed, everybody. I'd just like to say it is a new council. We had a meeting, I think, was it a week and a half since Michael, something like that, where everybody's introduced themselves. I'd like to think that we're going to make some progress. The past few years have not been very good from Anston's point of view. I think everybody, councillors and public alike, are aware of that, so I think we've got a lot of making up to do, and hopefully we can do it together. I'd like to thank John for the last 2 years. He's been the chair. I know he's had a lot to put up with from all sides, but I think he stuck to his guns, and I'd like to thank him for that, and I hope he'll still contribute to the parish council. So thank you very much indeed. So if we can move on, I'll go to the next item, which is item 3, which is no absence. So it's a full house as far as we are tonight, which is a bit of a rarity, but we'll take it from there. Item 4, to permit any councillor-elect who has not yet signed the declaration of acceptance of office to sign. I think everybody's signed that, so we're in front on that one. To disclose members' DPI, or that's for personal interest, any item we discuss. Let's do it.
Yeah, I declare number 9. Personal interest number 9 is about me. Is that right? No, so number 8.
Number 8,
Number 8.
isn't it? Stuart?
Stuart, can you shout
Right, can we just, yeah, we'll get it sorted.
Number 8.
Anybody else? Miles?
If we get to it, 39, 1 through 4.
Sounds a bit of a long way out. We'll try. Okay, so is that personal interest? I got Big Dosso from you remember. Yes. Yeah, right.
I'd like to declare an interest in item 14, in specific to one of the contractors, because he's a relative of mine.
Right. Thank you. Item 6, identify items which the press and public may be excluded. I think we normally, I think we'll do that when we get to it, because it is a fairly long agenda, so I think we may have to use a bit of discretion later on if there are items that we think need to be brought forward. It gives it, or taken out. I think it just gives us the opportunity to do that. Right, item 7, which is next item, which is to elect the Vice Chairman of the Council. Can I, are there any proposals?
I'd like to propose Councillor Thornton as Vice Chair.
Second. Anyone else? Okay. Are you willing to accept that?
Oh yes, yeah, Alex and I.
Okay, thank you. Do we need a vote? Okay, one nomination, so that's it then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 8, consider resolution moving standing order 53A, signed by 9 members of the council requesting that minute number 126/14, removal of member from all committees be reconsidered.
You just excuse me, Chair, I'm going to do the reading of this one.
You all got that in your... Right, anybody, if I can just read it out, it's a resolution to reconsider that sanction that was placed on Councillor Thornton in March. It was basically to reinstate 20 committees, if I... Reinstate him to everything actually, yeah, which is committees and outside bodies and everything else. All the members of the council have signed it, except Stuart of course. So we've got 9 signatures out of 9.
Well, we didn't all sign for it to be admitted to committees, we signed to revisit.
Sorry. Well,
But to revisit it.
so how do we...
So you need to ask the members whether we want to rescind that resolution.
Right, yeah, okay, thank you. So can I just ask members then if they want to rescind that decision, and as that's any discussion on it?
Discussion first, or...
You need a motion.
You need a motion first, so...
I propose that we rescind it then.
Yes, and I'll second that as well.
So you've got 2 minutes to speak on this, everybody, and then we'll take
2 minutes.
Can I kick off?
Yes, if you want to, like.
We all know what's happened in the past. We need to move on from the future. Whatever sanctions have been placed on anyone, if we're going to make the best use of the people that we've got, I think we need to look to the future and put that past behind us, and that includes any sanctions that were or punishments placed on Councillor Thornton. So it seems to make sense to me that we have 9 members of the council working on the council and not 8 and one sat in the corner somewhere as a naughty boy. So I sort of strongly recommend we pass that motion.
Could you use the microphone?
I will do. Try to shout loud so that it echoes.
We'll get that hang of it. Pass it. Can we just let councillors get on with it, please? Thank you. Anybody else want to speak on that? Drew?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's great, thank you.
Excellent. I'd just like to second that we need to move forward as a council. I believe that it would be inappropriate if we didn't rescind this, so just to show support.
Okay. Anyone else?
Is there likely to be anything back from the borough on this at all? Is that a decision that you will make?
It's the, well, as far as I'm aware, Clark just said it's the council's decision, not the borough made that recommendation. We did that, and it's our power to rescind it as far as I'm aware. John, do you want to?
Yeah, well, I signed that document because I think it's only right that it should be revisited, but we should rediscuss it. That doesn't mean to say I agree with it. I'm just saying that yes, it should be talked about because you've all become councillors and you've all been given last week the provisions of the conduct, and you've now accepted all these things. This is what you're going to work to. So you're immediately going to kick it out of the window because this says that you should not bully any person, you should not disclose information, you should not conduct yourself in any manner to bring the council into disrepute. Councillor Thornton was judged. He didn't turn up at the meetings. They were judged by the Standards Board, and we're all subject to the Standards Board. They recommended this course of action, and the council only agreed with it. They didn't take it upon themselves. It was a recommendation from the Standards Board. And I think to just willy-nilly chuck Standards Board's decisions to one side is quite irresponsible. Because I myself think that...
Council didn't actually agree
Can I just... please,
sorry.
Val, no commenting, although...
And you've asked me to make my comments, and I've made my comments, and I shall obviously vote against it. That's all I've got to say.
Right, thank you. Yeah, no, you
I think...
sorry, Alan. We've spoken once, so it's...
With a motion,
Yeah.
proposed and seconded, so it's one person talk about it. The person who did the motion can talk about it to round up.
Yeah.
So if everybody else is finished, we can do something.
Anybody else wants to do it?
I was just going to say, I mean, the main reason that we actually put it forward is we were looking at the expertise that Stuart's got, the way it was put forward, but personally I saw it, he was never given a chance to air whatever it was. So I think from now we move forward with a clean slate. That's the way it was perceived, that's the way we looked at it last week.
Put your word, Clive, on that, please. That's misinformation. He did not choose not to go to it himself. He was invited to all the hearings and he turned the... he didn't go to the last hearing.
I mean, my only comment is I don't know anything about that.
But didn't go, he just didn't turn up.
But I think the majority of the council and probably yourself, John, are quite happy to reverse that decision. I think we need to start off on a clean slate, and if it happens again, then it will be subject to the code of conduct again, like we all are. And that we at this moment in time we're willing to take that gamble, but given the opportunity to play his part in the council. And I think when he has been involved with council authority, he has been helpful on a lot of occasions. He's put work in, and I don't want to carry this bitterness on into the future because I don't think it does any of us any good. I know a lot of things have been said between people, but I think we have to make a fresh start, and everybody's got to be judged on the merits when we start. So I don't want to go into anything with a black mark over hanging the council, because if we get to that stage, then I for one will not be here. I'll tell you that now.
I don't want to be funny about it because I've said... but there's a point that's been made that's not quite correct. Don't forget that Council Thornton has still got 3 outstanding charges of bullying, swearing at people, telling the council that they're corrupt and calling people a liar. And those things have yet to be answered back from the board. So if the board recommend again there is sacked, what are you going to do?
Well,
why can't you wait until these other things come in? There's four other cases.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, when that happens, if and when that happens, then we'll look at it again. But I'm afraid, at this point in time, the feeling is that we want to go back on that and start again. You've got your own opinions on that, which I respect. But I think that...
Sorry, my opinion.
No, I'm saying you're entitled to your opinion, and as we all are, I know we've all got opinions on everything. We don't turn up and raise our hands blindly in supporting things, not like we've done before. We have proper balanced discussions and everybody has a point of view. So, as I say, I think that the majority are in favour of rescinding that decision. We'll take it on the chin, and if we have to discuss it with Rotherham, then we will do. But I think at this moment in time, we'll start again, we'll give Council Thornton the benefit of the doubt, and we'll take it from there. And obviously, if anything else happens, then we'll have to judge it on its merits when it comes in front of the council. I don't want to start tonight off by people starting to argue before that, because it's not the way forward. And as I say, I definitely don't want that to happen. There's a lot of people are watching us how we go on and how we conduct ourselves. And I think we've got to be cognizant of that and get on with it and move on.
I'm not arguing that.
No, I appreciate that. No, you're putting your point of view forward, and I appreciate that. Sorry, it's sure.
I appreciate Councillor Ireland's views and his opinion. That's fair enough. But I think there has to be a draw-off line. There has to be a line in the sand. And how long do we punish someone for? 12 months, 12 years? We've got to move on. And I agree with what both the chairs said and my fellow councillors.
6 months, actually.
Okay. Do you want to vote on that now?
Yeah.
We'll
record the vote, which is also the discussion.
Yeah, discussion between the Sheffield got there. Yes, I don't know if the new members know about the recorded vote system. You can ask for a recorded vote if you want things put it down in this part of the minutes as to voting which way. You can ask for it before the next, following an agenda item, before the next item comes on. You can still ask for a recorded vote at that point. You don't have to ask for it before and know the open. So we do it with taking recorded vote.
So Councillor Ireland?
Against.
Councillor Jarvis?
For.
Councillor Jepson?
For.
Councillor Machin?
For.
Councillor Manship?
For.
Councillor Matthews?
For.
Councillor Sadler?
For.
Councillor Tarnick?
For.
Councillor Vernon?
For.
Thank you. You agree, Councillor Thornton? Can I just say this moment in time? If members of the public would try and refrain from talking, please, during meetings. I don't want us to go back to how we were before, and that applies to councillors as well. We're going to conduct ourselves properly this time round, both at this side of the seat, at the tables and ladies in the audience. So we've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of progress to try and make tonight. So we need to move on. So if you just bear in mind, anybody does start arguing or talking, etc., and disobeying the chair, then I will have no hesitation asking to leave the meeting. And I said that includes councillors and members of the public. So just to state my position, I don't want to spend time like we have done for the last year going through things like that. Okay, thank you. Do you need to tell Stuart?
Oh, yes,
Yeah, can I just say that that motion has been rescinded and that you, like us, on whatever committees you want to be on or what we decide on, we deal with it. As I said, we just expect everybody to obey the code of conduct. We don't want to repeat, so we're looking to people to set examples this time. Okay.
But what I appreciate what everybody's done, can I just make it quite clear? I am still going to challenge the decision of the Standards Committee, and that's one of the reasons why I have refused to get off the table, because I still believe, and I'm going to choose my words quite carefully, I still believe I was treated unfairly by the Standards Committee and the subcommittee hearing.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't.
What I just wanted to say, I mean, it's not a comment on this.
No, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't speak.
Right.
There is a public session later on. Hopefully we get to that and people, if we make enough progress.
It was about that.
Yeah.
It was about welcoming people and understanding what's going on. That was all I was going to say.
Oh, sorry, but as I say, if we can, we'll pick that up when we get to. Yeah, this is the annual meeting. I'm not sure whether people understand, which is different to the Parish Council meeting. And this is a legal requirement we have to get through this bit first. So the sooner we get through this, we get back to the normal council meeting where you can ask questions as a normal
I'll explain later.
Okay. Right, item 9, to appoint committees and approve terms of reference, Finance Committee and Emergency Subcommittee. But on this item, the clerk has put forward an option, which is, if everybody's got that in there, to consider whether full council should meet twice a month in order to carry out the functions that would have been delegated to the Finance Committee, in which case the subcommittee shown in item B above would become a committee. Does anybody want to speak on this? Stuart?
Thank you. Right, I asked for this to be put on in a roundabout way. I'm going to propose what we do is we actually, for want of a better word, we do away with the Finance Committee and we change the Finance Committee into a council meeting. And one of the reasons of that is when we have a Finance Committee, we're always excluding one member of the council from the meetings, which always means one member of the council cannot make any decisions or collective decisions on financial matters of the council. So that would solve one problem. The other one is, when we have our meetings on a Monday night, we begin the finance meeting, it lasts for 10 minutes, and then we sit around twiddling our thumbs for another 20 minutes, half an hour, till the council meeting starts. if we just convert that into just a normal council meeting with the finance included, that means we'll gain extra time for carrying out council functions. If we go to vote on this and accept it, the emergency subcommittee, I'm looking for Michael for guidance, you're saying that will then become a full committee? But we would need to look at the terms of reference of that, would we not, at a later date?
Terms of reference should stay the same.
Right, the reason I was asking is because it says 2 people on it.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyway, I propose that we now change, that we have 2 council meetings a month, both council meetings to include finance inside the meetings. Does that resolution make sense?
Chair, does this not change standing orders? We've got to change standing orders because the standing orders say that you'll have a meeting. It tells you when you're going to have your council meetings. It actually tells you when you're going to have a council meeting.
He's going to tell them today, they have to change the timing and standing orders, so they have to sit for a month. If they don't sit there, they don't turn around so they can't hear me.
Anybody else want to?
I've just found it, it does actually tell you when you should hold your meeting, so you've got to change standing orders.
Can I just answer that proposal?
Yes, it's not, I don't think it's relevant that because they're only set 4 a year that are set set in law, and the others are at the discretion of the council. You only have to have the 4, so we can have 2 a month. We can change the finance and general purposes to a full council meeting. Yeah, that's correct. We have called extra meetings without changing standing orders, so I don't see any reason why we can't do that if people are in favour. I agree with what Stuart says, that if sometimes we have the finance meeting on the Wednesday and it lasts 10 minutes, and then we sat for 20 minutes before we start the rest of the proceedings. Well, that gives us another 20 minutes when we can actually be discussing business, which makes sense from that point of view. We don't like to get home earlier than 9:30 every time, so if we can pick time up, I think it's a reasonable solution. I agree with what he says as well about the 15. If we get to 15 members of the council, we also have an odd one that's left out at the end of the day. And I'd rather have 15 people contributing to every meeting and being part of decision making than somebody sat there not being able to speak and not being able to vote. So I think it's a sensible option, and we can get all the business in the 2 meetings then, rather than trying. From my point of view, sometimes it's very difficult to juggle purely financial matters and what you class as general purpose and then full council. And I don't think a change in name is a big deal. So
Clive, I don't think that we need bother around it because you and Stuart are ex officio members of the committee, so you can only have 13 councillors there anyway, because you're already on it by because of your positions. Therefore, I don't see why it can't just continue. I'm not talking about when, Stuart, but about the constitution of the thing. You just ask everybody else.
So we've had Stuart's proposed that as an option. Can we have a second to that? Anybody else want to?
Can I just come in there, Clive? If we're going to have 2 a month, can we try not to clash with Dillington Town Council meeting? Because I know a lot of people like to go to both, including myself.
Just offhand, I think Dillington Town Council's is the second Monday of the month and ours is the 3rd Monday. But it would switch to, if the second council meeting would be a Wednesday, the same night as the finance committee is at the moment. It would just be a council meeting.
Right, then we have got a meeting tonight, but that's a one-off.
Can I just go back in with it?
Sorry.
All I'm saying is
I'll let you speak this time, but not.
All I'm saying is that the Wednesday meeting.
You're going to sum up at the end of this, and then.
I was just going to say that the meeting nights are not going to change. It's just basically the name of the meeting will change from finance and general purpose to a council meeting. So the nights are going to be exactly the same.
Well, if you can just bear it in mind, I do agree with what you're saying, Stuart.
Anybody else want to speak on that? Is everybody happy with that? I would like to think that we may be here till 9:30 on a Monday night one, but and say on on the Wednesday, if we do have only a 10-minute finance meeting, we can start straight after that, and we can hopefully finish early-ish and get through the business, because we've still got a lot to catch up. So I think we're going to be chasing our tails for another couple of meetings before we get on top of everything. I would like to get back to the days when we got through business in a couple of hours and everybody went home feeling a lot better rather than going on at 9:30 and having spent the night arguing. So if we can... You're the last word on that, Stuart?
No,
just go with that.
basically, well, quickly, the only thing that's actually going to change is name. We're still going to discuss finance inside the council meeting, so that's all it is, just changing the name. The nights are going to remain the same. I'll probably have to I'll speak to the clerk later about timings, because the council meeting starts at normally at 7:30, but I would suggest it would start at 7 o'clock, like the finance meetings do. We'll accommodate that.
So do you want to...
It just means that you don't exclude it from...
That's exactly right, yeah. Can I put that to the vote then? All those in favour of... Do you want to read the motion?
Just 2 council meetings per month, one to take on the function of the finance committee.
So everybody else do that? Yeah, so everybody's in favour of that. The second bit of that, because we've voted for that, we now have to look at the second part, which is the emergency subcommittee, which will become an emergency committee. And probably we've never called that in the last 15 years, so hopefully we'll never have to call it again. Are we doing it to alter the numbers that are on that, or will we leave that as it is? Hopefully, we say we've not called it for 15 years. Let's hope we'll another 15 years before we have to hopefully, yeah. So, are we leaving that as it is then? We don't need to make a decision on that. If we just approve it then, right, which is, yeah, if we have a closer and a secondary again for that, the emergency subcommittee becomes an emergency committee.
I'll propose that motion.
I'll second that. Second, John. All those in favour? Thank you. Can I just say at this point, while we're working through this, I think what all of us, because we've got 6 new members and we're hopefully going to get another 5, I think what I'd like to do with some of these when we've got a bit further down the line, say maybe 6 months' time, is just have a review between council, see how things are working, see how the public perceive that these things are working, and if needs be, we'll tweak them. So I thought Hilary was looking at me, so I've not got a microphone on. So, as I say, we're quite open to sort of like change and things. You know, we're not setting tablets of stone. I think if we see things aren't working, then we'll have a look at it.
I propose, Clive, that you leave all the rest of the committees until we've got the full council.
Well, there are no others that I think we make them up.
We'll make them up as we're all that way, like Aaron Brown.
That's the council sees it. So that's, as long as we've got that in place, I think we need to look at list the other meetings, which might, or other groups, working groups that might be doing, and we'll see how we allocate people to those and what people would like to do and what be involved in. I'm sure that everybody's got different skills that we're not quite aware of yet. Hopefully talking is one of them. But I think we need to see how that settles down and then take it from there. I'd like to stress as well that from my point of view, we're open to, within reason, any suggestions from the public as long as they're polite. We need to get into discussion with residents more and also the groups that use the parish facilities. So I think that's something that we need to engage in the next few months, but it's just giving us a bit of time to get up and running. I'm sure people will indulge us in that. Okay, thank you. Next item is number 10, to appoint 2 members to represent the parish council on the South Yorkshire branch of the local councils associations. At the moment, I'm one of the representatives on that. Councillor Dalton was the other one, but she's no longer on the council then.
Councillor Thornton.
Sorry, you were, yes, but you were as well. Yeah.
I'll nominate myself, but so we can look forward.
Well, Stuart's done this before. Is anybody, I mean, I don't mind stepping off that one. It's only every quarter, I think, when it comes. They're quite interesting meetings, but it's sometimes, I know liking us to go, but not always. Yeah, some are Saturday afternoons, and it does vary, but what I'd like to do, if we can get two and a sub, whether that's permissible, we can do that. And then if between, hopefully one out of the three of us can get, or two can go together, because sometimes they're in Doncaster and various other places, so it is a bit of a trek, but it's obviously better if you go, if there's two people going. So if anybody else is interested in that, if you want to put the names forward.
Places where you have to go by boat up the rooms.
No, I don't think it would. It's just the fact that it's handy if we can get at least one determined. But say if anybody else, to include other councils in this, not ones that have been before, if anybody else is interested in putting a name. But it's not onerous, and it's quite interesting to compare how we match up against other councils in South Yorkshire and how they perform. I think I've been to several now. We've had the ex-police and crime commissioner, or the first one, and then we've had the second one as well. So it's perhaps not a happy hunting ground for police and crime commissioners attending those meetings as well as the second one. But they do have a good variety of agenda items. So if anybody wants to think about that, we can always, can we have that? Anybody else want to put the name?
I'd be happy to do it.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? And I said so.
Yeah.
We do get...
Stuart and Councillor Tardy.
And myself, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, can I just ask you again, please, not to sorry. Yeah, so we'll let you have the information on that. They do send quite a lot of stuff through, don't they, Michael? So it is quite informative. Okay. Next one, to appoint and authorise bank signatories. At this moment in time, is John himself. We need, another 3 or 4 at least. Yeah. Anybody want to put that for us? Do it?
Yeah.
Ivan?
Yeah.
No.
Is there a limit now, maybe?
As many as you like.
Christine?
I'd rather have more than less. Well, it does help as well, because when we do the finance bit, if your signature to the checks and everything else, you can see how the system works and how does the
an emergency
and everything. So
he goes to the one who lives near us.
Yeah.
I live quite near, and I've only been called on once in the last 8 years to sign a cheque.
So it's as I say, it does help if you're doing that. You do get some idea of how the system works. It's open. Right, but that's so. Right, there's a primary statement we need to authorise this court bank for the change of signatures, etc. So we do that at the next. Yeah, we do it now if everybody's happy with that.
Standard statement on the application. And if members are comfortable, produce it as a
If you're happy with that.
Can I suggest, I'm going to look at back and make sure it's not a problem, do it next meeting, because we've got quite a lot to get through tonight.
Yeah, that's fine. Are you happy with that? Are you okay with that? Yeah.
So we'll bring that whole thing back to next week.
Well, having said that, looking at that, can we? I'd rather us do it now if we can do it. Not is it a long? Is it a long job? Just authorise. So
basically, take it on trust that the term reference inside that document.
Right.
You accept that.
So do we need to?
Pay the way for time to write.
Do we need to sign that?
No, we just approve.
We just approve that then. So
Approve the name.
Approve the co-op.
we approve the court bank statement. And is it show hands on that? Or is that necessary? It's to accept the terms of the signatures for the court bank statement. Yeah.
When I fill in the co-op bank details, which you'll all have to sign anyway, in there there's a statement which says a page of A4 in time and little writing, and it says that the bank, account holder in the World Parish Council will use the co-op bank. Co-op bank will be the organisation's bankers who will inform the bank of any change of signatories and this sort of thing. And there's a whole page of it, which you can read when you're signing the actual declaration if you want. So you can approve that statement now, or if you want, leave it till next month, and then we can bring the actual statement, put it in the pack for you to read before you approve it. But it's a standard statement in the bank management.
It's a standard thing that everybody gets, isn't it?
I'm with Aaron. I understand what you're about, but maybe some of us might be thinking that you're being asked to approve something we've not seen. So,
well, you will see when you sign it at the moment in time. It's just to go ahead with that.
Are we signing now?
No. It's just to prove that to go ahead, and then you'll read the document when you sign it.
I'm alright.
Yeah, we'll bring it to the next meeting, and whichever's easier. I appreciate that it's
3rd of June.
Yeah, it's 3rd of June the next meeting, so we'll do that. Okay, thank you. Item 12, to consider payments falling to be paid regularly or annually.
There's two items here and more than one.
This is F13. Is it?
12.
12. Sorry, F12, yeah, F13. Corrected. That's direct debit payments. So it's F12. And these are annual or regular payments that the Parish Council makes. Everybody wants to. Yeah, sure.
These are just the payments we pay out every year. I've had a look through these. I don't see anything different to what they were last year. And everything seems okay to me, so I'm quite happy to propose to accept them.
Anybody else want to go on, Miles?
Just ask next, just because I'm still learning, know the acronyms and things.
Oh, yes, like ICCM.
Yeah.
Number 12 is the Society of Local Council Clerks. Number 13, Yorkshire Rural Community Council. Number 15, Local Government Management Board. Number 16, Yorkshire Local Councils Association. Number 17, National Association of Local Councils Direct Information Service. And that's RMBC, obviously.
I think that's an activity. By the way, you will get bombarded with YLCA and NALC extras throughout the year, which you've got to read in peril. I might ask you questions on the debate, but there is some interesting stuff in that. There is a lot that comes out at the time, so if you've got something to send you to sleep at night. Can I have a second then to Stuart's proposal that we...
Sorry, can I just say
yeah, sorry. I apologise.
Just before we vote on the motion, I'm happy to support it, those payments, the annual payments every year, but I do think that sometime in the near future we need to be very mindful of what we're spending and how we're spending it, and we need to look at all these things in detail. I know for now, if we don't start moving some of these things now, it won't get done. So I'm happy to support it now, but I do think at some stage in the future we need to look at some of these things.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, this is for the year coming, so we've got to put these in place now, otherwise we're going to be falling behind with payments and things like that. But it's certainly, when we do start to review things up in a few months, when we've got everybody on the council up and running, then we will be having to review things like this to see where we go spending-wise. Yeah, the budget meeting, and hopefully we're going to start those early this year, but I'd like everybody to bear in mind that we're going to be looking at finance over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, because it's going to be important. So we need to be aware of what we do pay and where we can look at any savings as possible. But we do have certain items that we have to pay whatever the cost. So. Did we take a vote? Yeah, can I just have a vote on that, please, to accept those? Happy to do that. Thank you. Right, to approve payments by bank direct debit, which is F13. They're the ones at the bottom. think everybody understands number 9 there, don't they? Managing revenue and customers.
Can I come again?
Yeah.
I propose again that we accept it. There's only, if I read it right, there's only 2 direct debits there.
No, they're all direct.
They're all.
All right, there's only 2
Ones
figures.
variables.
They're variable figures.
Right. And again, it's the same we do every year. Well, that's not a reason to do it, but yeah, it's the same, there's no big difference. So can I propose that we accept that as well?
Yeah, we've got a second for that.
Yeah.
Fine. Thank you. We'll vote on that then, Kelly. Thank you. Item 14, to approve contractors.
I declared an interest in one part of this, but I have got something to say about the rest of it.
Right.
So when it comes to
is it personal interest?
it is personal interest. It's a relative on 5, the contractor to the architectural. I'll leave you with this.
Okay. Well, I doubt if that will be altered because
Yeah, fine.
we've got 2, and I don't think there are that many. We're not needing people. So can we just go through? I've raised this issue before, and I must say I prefer the title approved contractors rather than preferred. I don't know what anybody else thinks to that. I think it's. Did we change the procedure? I'm not. I'll say I'm not sure whether. I mean, has anybody else got any? I think it's just in the influence of it. It's what you.
I'm not bothered either way whether we've gone preferred or approved contractors. I'm more interested in the actual content of what these contractors provide. And I think if we're going to make sure that we provide value for money and safe environments, not just for staff and for the public and the people of the parish, I think we've got to make sure that any contractor we engage provide the necessary or conform to the necessary standards, industry standards, whether it's a builder who complies to the construction skills certificate scheme, or whether it's whatever it happens to be, whatever the relevant scheme is. I think it's important that we employ people that not only have public liability but conform to the highest standards recommended by that particular industry. And I think it's also important that they provide the necessary paperwork, including method statements, any equipment that they're going to use, and give a full, proper outline of what the quotation is, what the materials involved, what the cost is, and how many people are working on it.
Right, thank you for that. You can see Ivan's not got a great deal of interest in that subject from where he's spawned on it. Daily grind, I think, as he puts it. Yes, anybody else?
I agree with what Ivan's just said and all that. I mean, this is, although it says preferred or approved contractors, in essence it's just a list of contractors we normally use throughout the year. And there are contractors that's not on this list we probably use. So although it's a preferred contractors list, it's not set in stone. Michael chooses in effect of who we...
All these people have to comply with the things that we're asking for.
And any contractor will have to play with certain rules and regulations. So can I again, this is a normal thing we do every year, can I again propose that we accept this list?
Can I just say as well, I'd like to add more to the list eventually, I think, if we can, in some instances. Because I think, as Ivan says, we've got to be looking for value for money, and that means at some point in time we test the water and get other prices. And I think that's what we have to do. We have to be here. You're quite right. We have, yeah, but I think we need to do that as much as we can. I agree with what Ivan said. I think I had this on the agenda last year that never got discussed, but about material and labour costs, so we get more detail in quotes, so we can make a more informed choice of who we appoint and what we're getting for our money.
Right, so can I say that we propose that we accept this subject to additional contractors being added or taken off as required?
Yeah, to be reviewed during the year.
The thing that's a result on this is that sometimes we need work doing, we don't do emergency things, so you don't have much chance to go through all the niceties. And if the roof falls in, you've got to have it done. If you burst pipe, you've got to have it done.
Chair, just say, well, that may be the case, but that doesn't excuse us from making sure we have a responsible contractor who has the necessary liability cover and the necessary qualifications as well. And even in emergency jobs, still needs a method statement, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. And I think it's important that we need to make sure that any contractor, it doesn't matter whether it's somebody digging a grave or somebody repairing a light, we need to make sure that we as a parish council are clear about what they are going to do on our premises on our behalf.
Well, yeah, thank you for that. I'll just add to that. I think we need to, we'll approve this approved list or preferred list now, but I think we need to be proactive all the time improving how we procure work and volume for money, and I think it's something that perhaps I certainly got interest in. I know you have. I'm not sure anybody else has, but I think we need to get people's views on this. We've got to be constantly reviewing it and making sure that we move forward and get the right, or should I say, best value for money. That doesn't necessarily mean the cheapest, but at the end of the day, but as long as we get you know, what we're paying for and everything's above board, so we have to cover our own backs on that one, make sure the council's performing properly. So I think it's something that we'll keep under review, perhaps under the facilities or the group. We'll have a look at that and keep monitoring it. Okay. So we've got a proposal for that. Accept Stuart, you proposed it. John, you second it. We'll take a vote on that and then accept that list. Thank you. List number 15, to receive information on the safe custody of deeds and trust instruments. I'm sure you all know what that
all the deeds are held by our solicitors in workshop, and we have photocopies of certain deeds, but the main ones are all kept by our and clerks, so just to be aware of that.
Can I just go in quickly? Are members of the public allowed to see the deeds and trust instruments within reason?
I would imagine they're public documents. I mean, a lot of the deeds are public documents, so you can get them to the land registry anyway.
Yeah, we do have deeds for welfare grounds, don't we? So if anybody that's interested, we do have a copy of those. If anybody's interested from historical perspective, as how we acquired all this lot, and we do have them available. I think if anybody just wants a copy, we can sort that out. So yeah, if anybody is interested, we'll take that. Okay. Yeah, we could. Yeah, like Michael just said, we could make them available on the internet, but we'll have a look at that and see what we can do. Yeah. Okay. Right, move on to item 16. Confirm standing orders 2014 issue 1. Yeah, I think we're actually in my file over there. Thank you. Right, has everybody got? No, I haven't got yours because you just given me. If we got, as are we obliged to go through, or just if anybody's got? Right, so they've only been in force since last year, so we've not been able to look at them until November this year. Did we go around?
You don't necessarily review the legislation change.
Well, if like, yeah,
somebody wants to look at it.
yeah. So unless there's anything that people want to bring back at a later date, which I think we can do as council, can they do ask for revision of any standing order items. Go on.
Could we not amend that 7:30 to 7? On the first paragraph.
Well, it's right on that because
we've already passed that, haven't we? Because
yeah, well,
time
just it wants to put in here then, doesn't it?
Do you want to speak to you once notice?
Right, so we need to give a month's notice on that if we need to move it to 7:30. Oh, sorry, 7.
Can I come in and try and help?
Yeah, of course you can.
Right. I've actually gone through these this afternoon and read them all. They are possibly do need to be changed. So can I propose that we accept standing orders as they are, subject to review later in the year? There's minor things like Gordon just said that does need changing, but it needs somebody to go through them and look at each individual item. But at the moment, I think we would be alright to accept them subject to change later.
Well, well, sorry, Miles.
No, I agree. Was that one or two?
Is that second?
Yeah, are you wanting to second that motion? Go on, can I just say, I think right, because again, when we get through the co-option, if we've got a full council, and people are playing catch up, and I think if we start chopping and changing things to start off with, we should never be on seeing from the same sheet. So if everybody's happy with those, we said we only brought in last November, it gives you longer time to read through them individually and see if there's anything that you would like to change at a later date. And I think we'll also give all the newer members of the council a chance to have a read through it, see where they think.
The reason we've got these, it's from past practice, and it's only evolved as things have changed. I mean, they're nothing like they were 20 years ago or before we had a meeting. It was just something that's evolved and gets changed continuously. If there's something to suit, which we can change whenever we like.
Yes, as long as
you've got clarity, you give us notice.
Yeah, there are standing orders, so you say we can change them as we change it to suit. So if everybody's happy with that, shall we? We've got Stuart who proposed that second. Miles seconded, John as well. So if everybody's happy with those?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Financial regulations. I've brought them down there before, haven't I? Yeah, the same applies, I think. Were they last November?
March 2013.
March 2013.
That's the legislation change.
Yeah, so they updated us, we get the stuff from Central, is it now, or they send it through to us. So does anybody want anything that they'd like to change? Again, we can look at it.
You should approve that with what Stuart said,
Yeah.
look at it later.
Propose again that we accept the financial standing orders subject to review later in the year.
Okay, that's fine. Everybody again happy with that? You want to second it? No? People can keep having a read through as we progress and see if there's anything that they're happy with or want to change, and then we can have a look at that later on in the year. Sorry, Miles.
Is it possible to put a date on when I might review this as well? Because it's something that...
It's a 6 months review.
Because I don't want it to get forgotten.
You already said that you would review it during the year, so we don't need to start 6 months.
No, so we won't forget about it, because the thing is, when you have a look at the minutes, if you make a note of that, I would think by the time we get other people on the council and everything, it might only be 6 months, but it can be looked at any time during the year, so if you want to make a mental note and put it in the diary. And then we'll come back to it, okay. Item 18, to approve internal audit review plan and to confirm internal auditor for 2015-2016. Yes, don't get any lighter, I'm afraid, it's part of the agenda. Yes. I think we've gone through, we have our standard gentleman, don't we, from Yorkshire Internal Audit Services that visit us twice a year, is it? Yeah, again, these were issued in October. I think, as I say, I've read through it, there's nothing that I can see unless anybody's got any strong views on it. Well, again, it's, like you can see, it's September again when they come down, so it's only 4 or 5 months, so it won't be the Finance and General Services Committee that will keep it if people did it with the council this time. Hopefully we'll get more bodies than attended. Last time was it only 4, wasn't it? We're not
proposing not to invite them this time.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, as long as, because when we do come down, it's only usually for a 10-minute chat, and that's it. So it's really not a worthwhile exercise in that point of view. As long as what they send us by in written form is okay, then that's it. So yeah, we'll
justify the fee.
Yeah. So, where are we? So, we've got a proposal for accepting. Stuart proposed it, John seconded, thank you. Confirm, item 19, confirm, sorry? All in favour, all in favour, please, sure, thank you. Item 19, to confirm the clerk's delegated powers, issue 7. So, and these have not changed since October of last year. Anything to say on this, Arthur? This is your province.
No.
Thank you. That's what I'd like to do. I'll give you the opportunity to comment on this.
I'll say something.
I know it's...
Can I just clarify, paragraph C, the clerk be authorised to commit the council to any expenditure in relation to the routine purchase of personal consumables. Is that any expenditure, just for clarification, any expenditure within the budget?
It's all that within the budget.
Right.
Consumables,
Can I propose that we accept the clerk's delegated powers?
A second? All those in favour? Sure, thank you. Item 20, to approve issuing of polling cards if an election were to be called during the year. I think we've all gone along with this, haven't we, previously, that we do issue polling cards. It means everybody's then aware if we do have a by-election, if that's the right term for either of the wards. It's something around about £12,000, I think, if it's both North and South Anston. If it's... Well, yeah, that's the total cost. The polling cards are, I think we have to get across from the borough anyway. But it's a few £100, whatever. Yeah. So, but we've always decided to go with that so people are made aware if there is an election that nobody's disenfranchised, that we send them a polling card. So, if we can just approve that, proposer again. John, second. Yeah. Drew, Ives. Can I vote on that, please? It's good, this bit, isn't it? Thank you. To agree the chairman's allowance, currently £200, item 21. It's the same as last year. No, we're not opening that for drinker.
No.
This meeting online. This is traditionally that we use for bits and pieces, isn't it, really?
But we use for the...
John, you can... Yeah. Sorry, Stuart, I'll just let John give us a bit of background because he's...
I think after the last 8 years, I've spent 2 lots. I think, how do we pay for the Remembrance Day thing?
That's separate.
That's separate. I think what we bought some flowers and a little gift for Maggie when she was ill. And I can't remember if we did.
It's just there if we need it for any particular item. Sorry, you want to...
Yes, sorry, I'd just like to propose the chairman's allowance.
No, that's fine, isn't it?
We reduced it last year. It was 300, it was reduced to 200.
Right. Happy with the figure, but from the meeting last week, Michael mentioned that any underspend in the chair's allowance is diverted to a fund for a change of office for the chair. I'd like to propose that is scrapped. In these times of austerity, I don't think that the chair requires a change of office.
Can I just say, I am really disappointed with that decision.
Can I come in, Chair, just to try and help? I agree entirely with what you've said. Could we possibly come back to that at another meeting to discuss it properly? Or could I... so, has Drew just made a proposal to...
Scrap. We can't put it
right. I would like it, if you're agreeing the chairman's allowance, and can we discuss it at a later date about the chair of office, etc., because I think we need a discussion on it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'd also like to make an amendment to the proposal that we reduce the £200 down to 100. It's very rare that this gets used. So if we take it down to 100, we can reduce the budget this year as well.
When you were about scrapping it entirely?
No,
sorry. No,
Just the
not the
surplus.
amount.
How
Yeah,
we
the
go-
surplus. Yeah, how we allocate this, I'm not sure how much we've got.
In that case, I'm looking to nod at me. Can I propose that we accept the chairman's office and reduce it down to £100?
So that's the amendment, so you do a second to the amendment.
Have you got a second for that then to reduce it to £100? It's not going to go, when we have this as an agenda item, the discussion will be not to put that money towards a chain of office, but the idea is still to give the chairman an allowance to spend at his discretion, but it will not be put into a fund.
Can I ask a point of clarification?
Yes, if you want, yeah.
In the event that something's required in an emergency, would that be covered separately?
Not really, because the chairman's allowance normally, things like flowers for somebody who's in hospital or whatever, there is no power for the council to buy flowers, so the alternative to the council is to put their hands in the pockets and pay themselves. So that's the sort of thing that the chairman can use that money for. It's things that aren't normally allowed other powers.
So can we just clarify then, we're talking about putting the chairman's allowance on an agenda item later on, but this is the money that's set aside already. This is chain of office money that we're going to look at, but are members happy to keep that £200 for the chairman's allowance for this year? So nobody seconded Stuart's £100 feel, so
if seconded, it's still.
Does anybody want to second that, or do you want to leave it at 200? You want to reduce it to 100?
No.
Sorry, second. Stay at 200. Okay, we'll sort of sell that essentially.
Right, I'm confused about where we are.
There was an amendment for £100, but nobody seconded it.
Yeah, what was the original proposal?
£200.
Keep it at 200.
Right.
But we discussed the money that's been put to the...
That's a separate.
There's a separate issue on that. Okay with that? Everybody?
So what's the proposal then?
Are we going to vote? So, sorry, Christine.
Can I just ask what happens to the money when it's not being spent?
Well, at the moment it goes into the chain of office fund.
Yes, but what happens?
But in future, if we
It
don't...
stays
We're
within
not
the
going
bank.
to have this chain of
No, it
office.
stays within the bank. We don't, if it's not spent, it's there.
At the moment, in the accounts, there's a little bit at the side which says chain of office, might have £400 or £500 in it, I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, the parish council would then make a decision as to whether to actually go down the route of doing that chain of office, and it may decide it doesn't want to, in which case that money would just go back into the general fund.
Okay.
Based on past experience, has it ever exceeded £100?
That's why
I don't know. I mean, John's the only one that's here that's ever been chair, so...
I think it's never
Well, we'll say...
30 quid.
Yeah, we're back on the original because that fell and nobody seconded it. So it's really, it's nothing really. I mean, it's just the fact that he got to that figure. If it's not spent, it stops within the bank there. No, it's just a nominal figure really at the end of the day. Are we happy to keep that at £200? Feel like an auctioneer at this point.
Let's
No, yeah, I was just going to say, if that was the case, I would say...
I'll tell you what, to make life easy, I'll withdraw my amendment. And we'll vote to we'll go to the original proposal to vote to accept
£200.
the allowance.
I feel like last year, because it was a special Memorial Day, on the 9th, we bought a better rate.
Yeah, we had it more.
Balance came out of the
Yeah.
basically came out of the
We topped it up from the chairman's allowance which we bought because it was the wreath for the centenary of the Great War. So we did, and we actually gave, I think we gave some money to the British Legion as well. But it's budgeted for that, for a better wreath this year, so we take that into account. We're happy to keep that at £200.
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favour, please show. Thank you very much. Cheers. And now the bad news for everybody. To agree members' allowance scheme as laid down by RMBC basically means we get nothing other than so much a mile. 40. Yeah, it's 40 pence a mile. We don't very often, which is a lot less than it used to be. Subsistence allowance, I think that's still there, but we don't very often use that. I don't think anybody's ever done that. So if you're happy to go, just to clarify, members of the council don't get any money other than mileage and or whatever.
If they go to one of these YLCA meetings and it's in York, then you can put mileage to it.
Yeah, you can claim for that. No within a 10-15 mile radius, then
Can I propose that we accept?
you know, so you can't go within the parish's house, so car sharing is good.
Can I propose that we accept the allowance scheme?
Do you want to?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to make, at the risk of extending debate, I was just
don't worry about that.
to propose a deletion under item 7B, item 1, in cases of urgency, etc., with regards to taxi fares. I just propose that we delete the last section of that sentence that says any reasonable maturity pay, so that we're not paying gratuities, we're just paying the standard tax.
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever used a taxi for me for anything.
They're not that common. Taxis. It's like public transport as well.
So that's an amendment.
Yeah, can we have a second for Joe's amendment then? Miles? Second. Any vote on that then? All those in favour? Thank you.
Claim taxes.
Yeah. You've missed it. Item 23, confirm publication scheme under the Freedom of Information Act 2000. It's not in the pack.
Can I come in?
Yes,
can I possibly accept this or approve this? It's something we have to do, I think, by law, isn't it, Michael? We have to do it by law. It's basically publishing certain documents on the web page and making them available to members of the public to see. So I propose that we accept the proposal.
Thank you, John. All those in favour? Thank you. All those in now, put your hands up. 24, to confirm safety policy statement. Chairman to sign.
And I'll second that. I'll read through it, I'll second it.
Everybody happy with that? This is a bit of help on it. Confirm, item 25, confirm operational risk assessment. I'll defer to the gentleman who understands, well, anybody that wants to comment on this. This is the light reading at the start of the council year. Anybody? Right, so Michael's just pointed out there is a review in September, so...
Right. I was going to bring an item up to do with security, so I'm going to defer that.
Yeah.
And just bear with me a second, please. I'll look at the last one. All right, yeah, on the last one. Some of that, in order to allow 3 councillors to sign. I think that's not about checks and things like that, is it? Well, what's the actual situation about signing checks at the moment? Because the rules have just changed, haven't they? Do we need normally 2 councillors and the clerk? Is that still the same?
Legislation changed, doing away with the need for any councillors to sign cheques or orders for payment. That's in order to allow councillors to use electronic means, etc., etc. As far as this parish council is concerned, we changed the bank mandate in order to allow an additional member of staff to sign cheques as well, because we weren't sure how many cheque signatures we would have after the election. In terms of the actual approval of payments, that is still exactly as it was. So therefore, this group or the finance committee, if there was one, would approve payments for cheques, and it would still say that 2 councillors and the clerk are to sign. So that bit hasn't changed. That's within financial regulations. What it says here is that the financial regulations can be suspended or amended in the case that certain people are, if I wasn't able to sign cheques, then you can suspend that standing order. As far as the bank mandate is concerned, 2 people can now sign irrespective of whether they're staff members or council members. But the control of that is still within the council.
Right, okay. And can I just ask a question? It says to confirm the operational risk assessment. What are we actually being asked to do? To agree with what's written, or just to say we agree there's an operational risk?
To agree with what was recommended by the council itself on the 24th of September, or by the finance committee which reviewed it in more detail. So the details being gone through in September, it's really the council just saying, yes, fine, we know there's one in place, we're approving that.
So we're going to agree that there's a risk assessment in place and that we've read it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Anybody else want to make it?
I think as risk assessments go, it's quite thorough and it's appropriate to have a sort of risk assessment. But I'd just like to question one thing on the insurance part. It's not done, so it's difficult to know. It says insurance robustness of provider. There's quite a lot of information about who's tested the robustness of the insurance provider. I think, again, at some stage in the future, if you say it needs reviewing this year, I think we need to look at that again, because some of those reviews by people were carried out in 2010, I think, last one.
Yeah, it's actually disappeared.
Has it disappeared? What does it say, Michael, at the moment?
I don't know, it's disappeared.
Yeah, but I think we do need to look at that at some stage.
I think that it does look, I can't make it out on that bottom bit again, but we'll get that, if we can get that last bit open, then we can have a look. But again, it's, you know, it's something that we should keep looking at as a
Can I just interrupt you, Chair? Just interrupt, sorry. Are we due to get some quotes for the insurances very soon, aren't we?
Yeah.
Which, we can bring that up then when it comes up then.
Later this week.
I'll ask the broker to get that verification.
Yeah, so I'll cover that.
And then we will look at it. Are you happy with that? Okay. Again, can I just ask, do we need this?
Just
approving.
So second proposal.
Second proposal, yeah. Somebody else want to do we move it around the table?
Yeah, of course.
The proposals. Go on, John.
That's been done.
Yeah. Go on then.
I'll second it.
Councillor Nate, Councillor Thornton, seconded. All those in favour? Thank you. To receive internal audit reports dated October 2014 and April 2015. Anybody any comments?
Thanks for receiving that.
Seem to be okay. Paul? No? Okay? So don't you know if there's something you're not quite sure of?
No.
Just ask and we'll try and deal with it. Okay. Put Michael on the spot. Are there pros and secondary again, please? No, you move it around. Go. Somebody, yeah, to put his hand. Are you proposing it? Have a second. Got my answers again. All those in favour? Thank you. To authorise accounts for the year ended 31st of March 2015. Got them in front of you. Yeah, so that's 5 pages in my sense. We've got C26 B, is it? B, the first one, which is prepared on the 21st of April 2015. Which gives you, yeah, you want to?
Yeah, so page, first page is the
Michael explains to it.
bank reconciliation.
I'm asking you anyway.
Right.
Bank reconciliation just shows that all bank accounts add up and there are no errors in that particular instance. The second page, receipts and payments, that's how we operate our accounts throughout the year. And because we're an authority that has a precept of over 200,000 or a turnover of over 200,000, we're then obliged to actually present the accounts to the external auditor on an income and expenditure basis. So we've got receipts and payments. We take into consideration the following page, which is creditors, debtors, receipts and payments in advance. And that then gives us the page called income and expenditure, which some of the budget things will look exactly the same, some have been amended for creditors, debtors, etc. And then the final page is just the funds as they are at year end.
Now, what we're doing is we're approving those accounts. Now, obviously, we're now in 2015-16. I presume we received some money from BC.
These are 2014.
That's what I'm saying, 2014-15. So it's to sign these off. What we'll need to do, look at how we go in, and as I say, I'd like all the councillors to have a look at some of the next year's budget and see where we are, any comments they want to make, because we're a party to the budget setting for 2015-16. I think it's only right that everybody has a look, and if there's any comments they want to make, we'll try and address.
Up to March 15,
Yes.
it should be from 15
to
16 onwards.
This is built Sandy's off for last year, the Italian. You want to speak still before we go to
Yeah, I mean, just for my information, really, on the receipts and payments account, one next to the balance, am I right in thinking that if you take the payments, if you take the receipts away from the payments, that leaves us a figure, which means we've spent more than we were planned coming in?
Yeah.
Right. And we turn over on to income and expenditure. Am I right in saying on there we have a specific figure of 14,380?
Yeah.
Now, is that money coming out of the reserves?
So we have budgeted for 20 something pounds.
So the 20,000, 22,000. So although we're showing a deficit there, that 14,000 is actually covered by taking the money out of reserves. Right. We're on to the next page, the last page. The funds represented by, again just to clarify, the figure on the second line up 72,196.27 pence. That's what we have now in reserves. And is that what's left after we've taken the 14,000 off? Right. Yeah.
Can I just make that?
So I was trying to clarify in my mind.
No, that's fine. I'm pleased you wanted to do that. Can I just say, local government finance and such like is a fog for many people involved. It still is to a certain extent to me. I'm sure some of you looked at these figures and thought it's the first time we've seen them, but hopefully, I'm not sure whether do we ever do any training for local government finance. I know we've got a council, but it's something that we could perhaps look at, because as I say, if we get caught another 5 councils, we've basically got 11 out of 15 that are totally new to this. And I think perhaps a bit of training would go on this if people can understand the basics, and then you know where to look and what questions to ask and satisfy your own mind that you're happy with what we're doing and where we are. So it's something we can perhaps look at, and we'll try and see if we can arrange it. I'll speak to Mike and see. I'm not sure whether the borough are running, I know they're going to be running a lot more training hopefully for parish councils, because there's been a big change around in the last month. So it'll be things like planning issues that we're going to try and arrange some training on, and hopefully I'll try to see if I can get some for financial regulations and things like that, which I think would be beneficial at the end of the day, rather than just people sitting there thinking, oh, I don't know what's happening. We don't want that, so we can have a look at that and see if we can, unless we've got some members amongst us that are well upon financial matters that we can pick their brains. But I say again, I don't think it would hurt if we could try and see what we can do.
I also suggest that we get information about the chairman course, because there might be some of the newer members who would want to go on it. I'm not talking about you, Clark.
No, but there is an item way back in the pack when we get there tonight, is the matter about training courses that are on, and we need to have a look at that. Training and Professional Services Calendar 2015. That's Yorkshire Local Council Association. So there is opportunity for people to go on training courses at a later date. Okay. Are we okay with that one then? Do you want to propose with a second to accept or to authorise the accounts?
Yeah, I propose.
Second. Thank you. Those in favour, please. John. Thank you. 26C, to agree approve the accounting statements 2014-2015, section 1 of the annual return. Yes, as Matt says, this is an external auditor for their approval. I'm not sure what it is. These are So it's BDO now that we pay to check these, but these have to be sent up. And again, they're signed by Yorkshire Internal Audit Services. So, but that's a different one, sorry. Yeah, we're just on that page 1 straight.
Can I
in front of myself.
Can I propose that we accept the accounting statement for 2014-15? The figures that are in front of us here basically reflect what's we've just been discussing about income and expenditure. I had a sad afternoon because I was checking some.
Is there a second for that?
I'll second.
Thanks, Drew. All those in favour? Thank you. To receive independent examiner's report on the charity accounts 2014-2015. That's directly over the page. From the back of that, so again, Yorkshire Internal Audit. Oh, sorry, 2 pages. Yorkshire Internal Audit Services. Yep. So yeah, it says here that there's nothing that they've come to their attention. So yeah, it would have been on that second page.
Well, I say it's just a statement that Mr. Flatters has signed, the auditor, and as you say, there's nothing being picked up. Can I propose that we accept that document?
1 second. Yeah. All those in favour? Sure, thank you. Again, the charity bit is something that people probably aren't aware of that works as well, so that's something else we need to do because we've got one in a, somebody can say where the next one was, really. It's a charity in the parish, I think, is it Nares, but that's a long way away in somewhere like that, so we...
It's rather a unique situation.
Yes, it is. Weather busy, I think something like that is the nearest one that has the same situation as we do, sorry. Item E, to agree approved declarations for the annual governance statement 2014-15, section 2, items 1 to 8, and item 9.
Proposed.
Do you have a seconder for that? Everybody happy? Okay, all those in favour? Please show. Thank you. Item F, to receive annual internal audit report 2014-2015, section 4, the annual return. I see everybody longing to get to the end of these.
Can I propose that we accept this one as well?
Yes, please.
Yes, I said second for that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, thank you. All those in favour? This will not happen again until next May, actually. Oh, thank you. Item 27, to approve annual awards. Yeah, if I could let John explain.
Right, this is a responsibility of the chairman to organise, actually.
Cheers.
So you look for if it's...
Do you want to use that mic, John?
Oh, sorry. If it's to go ahead. The thing is that it's one of the only 2 things that really pulls the village together. This was the idea behind it. We have the allotments awards, different awards, lots of different awards, young person of the year, this sort of thing. The thing is that the chairman doesn't choose who comes to it. The chairman only invites each organisation to send 2 people. So you'll have bowling club, cricket club, knitting society, history society, horticultural society, everybody, there's about 8 to come all together, and we usually allow some sort of entertainment. Over the past 3 years we've had Melbourne Choir, we've had swing singers, that kind of singers, we've had professional keyboard player, organ player, and last year we had a new group which was the, I forget to call them, the acapellas, and there were 4 men from the Male Voice Choir who put on a show for it. It was quite good. That's, if you'd like me to explain the next one as well with it, because they both join together. Sorry. Yeah, okay.
Could we deal with the first one?
Yeah, okay. Okay, right.
How much does it cost? Where is it?
Well, we have usually have pound peas, and the cost last year was £640.
It's less than that, it's about £800 for the whole thing.
Yeah, so the whole thing, for the whole evening, was about £700 to £800.
That is the cost to the parish
That's
council.
the cost. It's something that we've had every year for yonks, and it is budgeted for. That's that. I can't say anything else about it. It's just that I think it's a good thing.
Okay, so anybody else want to speak on that first item?
No,
I'm going to speak against this item, and I always have done since I've been on the council. At the time when I first joined the council, this was really seen as an annual measle for selected people. I'm not saying that's right now. I've never attended one. It's an annual awards evening, but in the past, some of the awards have been given out to certain members of the public, but nobody around the table, possibly with the exception of select few in the past, have known who these people, who've known why or who the people were selected for prizes. It never came in front of council. I mean, obviously the allotment prize spoke for itself, and possibly the gardens, but there was some others like Young Person of the Year or something. It never came in front of this council for approval. It costs £800 plus per year. I think we can do it better and cheaper. Well, just before I go on to that, another argument I've got is some of the people we've asked in the past to come to entertain us have charged us for entertainment when 2 or 3 months previously we've actually had to give them a grant. So we give them a grant in one hand, and the next hand they're charging us to come and entertain us. I think we can do it a lot better just by inviting the prize winners to a council meeting and doing a proper presentation, possibly with the camera here, to take a picture. So my proposal is that this year we don't have the annual awards evening as has been in the past. We will just invite people to come to a meeting to receive their awards, thus saving £800.
Well, do you want to speak, Chris?
Yes.
Sorry, Miles.
What form do these awards take? Is it a useless piece of junk?
Well, it depends how you class that. To somebody that wins it, it's probably highly desirable. To
What
people
is
that
it?
don't, I don't know, it seems to be a commemorative plaque or something like that, an award that we present to them, engraved with the winner's name on. I think Mrs. Warland was the winner for the basket.
Glass coaster.
Sorry, Miles.
I agree with John that I think it's something that brings the community together, and I think it should be more of a celebration than just a meeting, like Stuart suggests. I think it should be showing that the council are aware what these people are doing in the community and that the council support them. I do think that £800 might be a bit expensive. That might want to be reviewed. See if we can get some better quotes somewhere, something along those lines. But I think it's just something that should definitely be an event, and that should be advertised as an event as well.
I think money's better off going to a project.
Can I just
Than
ask you
when we
to,
desperately
Sandra,
say good.
please, Gordon, well, I'm not sure which one was first. Philip.
Is there any merit in considering combining the two? Having the quiz night after the presentation, etc.
Can I just ask John on this one? What do you think about that, John?
I'm open to suggestions. The thing is that we must dismiss this myth about people being invited. It doesn't matter that. The people who had their allotments judged, the front gardens judged, the hanging baskets judged, all these things. And there's one thing that is put forward to the chairman, and that is to select from a number of things somebody who was worthy of the award, like it was given to Roy
Wells.
Roy Wells. For the amount of time we spent on that. It was given last time to what's the name? Secretary Gloria Caulfield, because it was actually 10 years since she started the Friendship Club, which is held once a month at the Methodist Church Hall, which invites all pensioners to go to get together and tea and play bingo and beetle drive and something. And we've only had in the last 4 years, we've only ever had anybody from nominated from a school. We always write to the headmaster or the headmistress of each school and asked them if they've had any outstanding pupil. We gave it to a girl who had actually spent a lot of her time, her own private time, helping to train children in gymnastics, and she's also represented in Great Britain in gymnastics, and she came from Wales High School. And that was, and all she got was a plaque.
Did she live at Southampton?
She lived in Southampton, yeah. And that's all it is. And my only input to it was to lower up my MPs,
Speak.
and do MC it, and choose the person that we're going to get through, which I've never had to actually choose between two people, because what do you want to go forward?
I think you want to...
Yes, I can confirm that at the last awards evening, there was bribery and corruption.
Are you...
Yes.
The fact that you won an award for your allotment, which you were totally embarrassed about, but I know you didn't turn up, did you?
I'm not judging because I'm not judging the allotment.
I was the judge and I absolutely won.
But since then we have clarified that you are allowed to be judged and entered. I know that's not... The only thing you can do is probably cover your allotment up so they can't see it, and then they can't, or you can destroy it, and then you will be considered for an award. But it should be proud. Anybody else? Stuart, then I'd like to have my say. If I can. Do you want? No.
Just a quick one. I mean, again, it is. I do just to reiterate one thing. We can do the presentation here after a meeting or before a meeting, which will be just as effective for the people receiving the prizes. And I think it's just been confirmed, I've just said earlier, there's 2 or not 3 prizes Councillor Islands just mentioned that have been presented and awarded without any approval or any say-so of the council, and I think that should stop. If we're going to make awards on behalf of the council, it should be approved by council, not just by one person. Well, £800 is a lot of money to spend on one night.
True. And then I'd like to fund it.
I'll make it as brief as I can. I think it's an excellent idea. I think we need to celebrate all the good work that goes on in Anston. But it needs to be open and it needs to be transparent. We need to try and involve as many people from the local community as we possibly can. Could we investigate combining it with an event such as Anston Day so that
Can I just ask you for my favourite members of this fan club?
We are now. Talking sense.
I'm going to say it was sort of cheerleaders. Go on, carry on.
We should look at
can I just
costs.
Excuse me, can I just... Excuse me, can I just have a bit of quiet, please? Sorry? Can't hear me? Sorry, well, can I just ask councillors not to mumble, please?
Why don't you move forward then?
Can we just... Next time, yeah. Can I just say that at the next meeting I will have the gavel out of the office and I will go for all. If people don't take any notice, then we'll be out of the meeting. I don't care who it is, be members of the public or councillors, we're not going to go back to how we were before. So Councillor Tam, you can finish what he's saying.
The cost is perhaps a little too high at the moment to take £100, so I would propose that we limit it to lower value, for example, 200.
Can I just... Do you...
I was going to say, I agree with Drew. I think if we can include it in other events, make it seem more like a bigger event, like the Anston Day, if we decide to go into that. But again, I think it's not just design.
Can I just... I have to say, I have attended these ever since I've been on the parish council, and I've found them extremely pleasant. People have got on really well together, and it's brought all the community groups together in the village. So I have to say, if it does come to a vote, then I should be voting to support it. I think suggesting that people have put forward to try and have a look at how we combine other events is a good idea. We've never done that before. To be fair, we've just carried on, we've just rolled along. I mean, we did alter the dates of the quiz and the awards even because they were clashing, weren't they, around at the same time? Both in November. So we split them up so you've got one in each 6 months of the year. So I think what I'd like to propose is, I'm trying to look at everybody here, that we have a look at, when we hold this again, have a look at reconsider the budget that we've got point. We've got time. We start looking now. We don't have to rush into anything. We never send invites out till October time anyway. I'm trying to get the best of both of those here because I realise some people are implacably opposed to it, others are in favour. I think it's a good method of bringing all the community groups and the people that work for nothing in them, like Mrs. Cawthorne. Yes. She's done a lot more than 10 years. I think she's probably done 30 or 40 years in the village, and I'm sure there are a lot of others, people like that I know that have put time in and not had their efforts rewarded. And I think a portion of buying peas is not that big a deal at the end of the day. So I'd like to ask people if they will support this, but if we can bring it back and have a look, people who want to make other suggestions as to how we combine it, and I'll throw this on to members of the public if anybody's got any suggestions out there, think we can work it, and what time of year we hold it. It doesn't necessarily have to be in November. I think it's just fallen like that, hasn't it, John? It's sort of dark nights and it gets people out of their houses into a sort of like village event. So I agree with Drew. I think it is still a good idea. We perhaps just need to have a look at the cost and get something that's maybe a bit more acceptable to members of the council. So can I suggest that we...
Did I make a proposal?
I think you did make that.
If we're going to bring it back later in the year or to another meeting to discuss it in more detail, I'll withdraw the proposal.
Okay, thank you. So can I propose that we bring it back to, because again, I know we're meant to co-option, but if we've got five more members on the council, then I think if we get up to full numbers, then we've got a chance to have a bit more input from people. And I'd like people in the public to put their ideas forward and see what we can do. And maybe when's the next full council? 15th of June. Yes. 15th of June full council meeting. If we bring it back to that, and anybody's got any ideas as to how they'd like to see the format of it or whatever. It's obviously better to hold it here because it won't cost us any more money to go anywhere else, which is one of the main ideas.
You've got to leave enough time to, if you're going to have a statement, you've got to...
Well, that's right, but I think if we all look at it and we've got it bottomed out by the end of June, early July, we've got plenty of time to get things organised. But I say I'd like people's input, and we can also ask the possible members of the council for their views, see what they think, and then we'll revisit it and have a look and see what consensus of opinions is. Can I have anybody second you on that one?
It used to be a lot more expensive, but now Stuart pointed out to us that we were printing in the fence by providing wine. So all this pocket.
Can I have a vote on that then? All those to bring it back? Thank you. Yeah, if you want.
Well, just a quiz night was very, very similar. We invited all the different things to send a team of up to four people for a quiz. There's no prize for it. It's just a matter of getting all the people in the village together. We have it down at the Creek Club. They don't charge anything for the place. And they do a buffet for us. Which we pay for. That's all. And so it was just, I think it was £250. £350 what it cost us last time. And again, there was 12, 14 teams, I think. 14 teams.
Yeah, for now, there were about 14 or 15.
14 or 15 teams. And that's it. It's run. We invite somebody to come and be our quiz master. And that's it.
Good, sir.
The only involvement of the chairman is to say good evening.
Right, and again, I'm going to object to this because again, we pay £350. That goes towards food, and that goes down to the cricket club. The cricket club is a private club.
Stuart, can you just take mine? That's it. Sorry.
It's a private club, and they take a considerable amount of money behind the bar that night, of which we as a council see nothing. So we give, and we don't get anything in return. It does tend to be the same people and the same teams every year, although I'll give the council due to try to wind it down. I think it'll cost the £350 for a small, and it is a very small percentage of the village, and which again tends to be the same people. I don't think this is a good use of our money. No. So I would move that we cancel the annual quiz night this year and future years.
Does anybody else want to speak on that? Christine?
Yes, I'm puzzled why Anston people are paying for food for people who go to a quiz. Why do they not pay for their own?
Because the guests of Anston Parish Council. They're our guests. We invite them to come to a function as our guests. And it happens that they belong to all the societies that are in the village. And it's just to get people together.
So
it works.
So are they invited?
Who we give grants to?
Well, not necessarily so, no. But we give grants to anybody that applies for one if they're
We
within the
don't.
village.
To be fair to what John said, we don't, unless, we give grants to organisations from outside the village, not as much as we do to organisations from inside the village, but we do give, anybody can apply for a grant and it's considered by the council as to whether it's on its merit. So nobody's precluded from applying for grants. And I'd say, again, I went to the first, well I was in hospital with a broken leg when the first quiz was held, but I went the year after in 1989 and it's been running since then. And I have to say I've got several winners' certificates at home that I've collected along the years, but we don't do that now. We used to get a winner's certificate presented by the chairman, etc., which everybody was quite keen to win actually. It was, might seem a strange thing a bit paper with an annual quiz winner or something, but people, there used to be a lot of very keen quiz people in the village that used to enter it. It used to be quite a good event. Again, I would argue, I still support this because I still think it's a good way of bringing the community together. We don't have many occasions when we do. At the moment, the Anston Day is somewhere in the ether. We're not quite sure where we are with that one.
We are. We're waiting to talk about it.
But as I say, until we've heard those proposals, but I again would like to look at them in June if people go, whether we can combine the two, whether we can find a different venue. I mean, the beauty of the quiz night is that there is alcohol available, which does make it a bit more sort of user-friendly. And I know years since we did look at trying to find another venue where we could combine the two, I think, where you could get alcohol. We can't have alcohol here, so that prohibits it at the awards night. So if you had a quiz night here on the same night, then you wouldn't be able to have any alcoholic drinks. So it does affect it in that respect. So again, I would ask if we can put that back on the agenda, people have a think about it, see if we can come up with some ideas, and whether we have an events subcommittee or something like that we set up to look at these things during the year. With members of the community and one or two councillors. I know Gordon's been involved in the Anston Day for the last only once, but you were involved in it, weren't you?
Very well.
Yeah, and so there you go, Gordon recommendation for you. So I would like people to